Hi, everyone. Welcome to DomainSherpa. Today is a holiday episode of Down the Rabbit Hole, talking about NFTs with the Rabbit Hole Gang. It's the last show of 2021, and we definitely get festive with it. We bring on a whole bunch of our ape-in production squad, including Drew, Alan, Morgan, Jess, as well as Billy and Eddy on the show for the first time. We talk a ton about the Bored Ape Yacht Club, the flippening that just happened between apes and punks, the value of mutants, the upcoming ape coin drop, the Bored Ape video games, and we also talk about the Matrix as well, as the new movie just came out, so we're looking forward to that for sure. So come on and jump down the rabbit hole with us right now here on DomainSherpa as we say goodbye to 2021 and move into the new year with the Rabbit Hole Gang. So let's go.
It don't matter what you say, ain't no way that you messing with my team today. It don't matter what you do, I will not lose.
What's up, Sherpa Network? Thank you for tuning in today. My name is Jonathan Tenenbaum, aka JT, aka J On, and I am the host and producer of DomainSherpa, where all roads lead to domains for the most part. Right? Today's show is Down the Rabbit Hole, which, as y'all know, was a spin-off show that we created to dive into other topics because our work in domains leads us into all sorts of places. So, hence the jump down the rabbit hole. And we've been spending a lot of time this calendar year talking about cryptocurrency and NFTs, NFT unit. You know what I'm saying? So let's get it. Today we are wrapping up the year. This is the last show of the year. I'm here with the Rabbit Hole Gang, at least part of the Rabbit Hole Gang. Shout out to the other heads that aren't on the show today. But we're going to be closing out 2021. What a crazy year that it's been. This is our holiday show, holiday party. I don't know, Margot. Why is the carpet wet, Todd? You know what I'm saying? Everybody's rocking their holiday swag. We are getting it in. It is really all good. And so just want to wish everybody out there happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Festivus, however you get it in. If you're an atheist, you know what? Enjoy the week and a half of everybody else leaving you alone because they're off doing other shit. You know what I'm saying? So, it's all good. It is all good. Anyway, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do we got a lot of guests on here today, a lot of co-hosts, and so I'm going to do quick intros. I'm not going to do full bios, but over to my right, we got my man, the boss, a.k.a. Morpheus. Well, I guess I should tell him your real name. It's Andrew Rosner, a.k.a. Morpheus. I'm like, we're not even doing real names anymore. We just a.k.a.s. That's it, all day.
Welcome to the future.
welcome to the metaverse. Welcome to the Matrix, a.k.a. Morpheus, a.k.a. Dirk Diggler, a.k.a. Bob Lee Swagger, the sniper. You know what I'm saying? What's up, man? Happy holidays.
What's up? Happy holidays.
I got Santa's in the back. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to do this. Morgan, let's go. So below him, we got my man, Morgan Linton, a.k.a. Morgan Freeman, a.k.a. Mark Cuban, a.k.a. Calvin Klein. You know what I'm saying? He's got the light up lights, all that kind of stuff. Bored Ape. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Yeah. All right. And keeping it, we don't have a full circle, so I'm going to go directly below me to my boy Jess Chura, a.k.a. Jess Curry, a.k.a. Starberry, a.k.a. Nick's Tape. What's up, man?
Yo, what's up?
In the snowy streets of New York, you know what I mean?
An AKA the Oracle, by the way.
Oh, that's right. AKA the Oracle.
Yeah, I mean, that's
we got Morpheus and the Oracle. We've almost got a Matrix movie.
Oh, yeah. Somebody's got to be Neo, man. I think, I got that. I got it. We get there.
Yo, good timing. New Matrix drops today.
Today.
And what?
Yes, HBO Max.
Yeah.
And
are you serious?
Yeah.
Serious,
Dude, where you been, man?
Oh, wow.
It's a new joint. Supposedly, it's really good. So I have a whole thing about The Matrix that, as far as my opinion of the films, right? So this is so we might, you know what? We're just gonna dive right into it. So here's my thing about The Matrix. The first movie was revolutionary, was fucking life changing and genre bending, and from everything from the special effects, the bullet time shit, everything, the ethos, the story was incredible, right? So when I went to see the second one, I was mad hype, right? I mean, literally, Matrix is a top 10 movie for me on my list, right? So when I went to see the second one, I thought it was amazing because I was like, man, I can't wait to see the third one and how they tie this all up. You know, they introduced the architect and all this kind of shit. I was like, I saw the shit twice. I was like, that shit was crazy. I loved it. And then I saw the third one and it made me not only hate the third one, but it made me hate the second one. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, the second one sucks now. You know what I'm saying? So it's first time that I ever saw a movie that I loved it until I saw the follow up, and then it made me hate that movie. Like it dropped down for me as far as like how much I liked it. So
this is way over my head. I am now just realizing that this is not the second movie coming.
Hell yeah!
You can think that it is. It might flow fun.
Seriously, I think
you might be better off.
Yeah.
For real. Like this is one of those. Go rewatch the first one. Now watch the new one. But hey, man, huge shout out to Keanu Reeves. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he would be here today, but he just couldn't make it.
Yeah, exactly. He was gonna be the other guest. So all right, well let me keep it moving then real quick. So all right, over to my left, we got my boy Alan Dunn, aka Gandalf Gates. You know, so you just got one AKA now. It used to be Bill Gates. It used to be Gandalf. Now it's just Gandalf Gates. You know what I mean? And so, and that's what's up. Ape baby, how you doing, man?
You're cool.
All right, now we have two guests.
I'm still trying to get over those 3 Matrix movies.
4 now. And actually, the Matrix they dropped an NFT project leading up to this movie that was like a there was a success that they sold out but it was a smaller priced. It wasn't like sort of your OpenSea style, it was done on like their, own sort of platform type thing. And, some kind of, I don't know, it was like a collector's, commemorative, whatever. But, they just did that recently. That was they made a couple $1 million. So,
yeah, and it was a big collection. I think it was like 20,000 or 30,000. Was it?
Yeah. But they were all like, I think it was like in the $50 to $100 range. So I think it's an interesting sort of mass market kind of fan audience type of approach that makes a lot of sense. I think, gas fees on Ether layer 1 make that problematic, but there's a lot of layer 2 stuff that's starting to happen. Some stuff on other, chains, Solana, some other things that, where those become more possible and still can touch all the sort of typical NFT collectors and stuff. But we could talk about that too, but let me keep going around the horn. So now lower left, we got my brother, actually, Will Tenenbaum, a.k.a. Uncle Billy, a.k.a. Chill Walton, a.k.a. Sam Raimi. So he's the one who does all the post-production, all the cool shit that we do on all the Domain Sherpas, all the visuals. Like good, bad, ugly, that's him. So if it's dope, give him a shout out. If it's not, don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
If it's not, here's his address. He'll be around.
Cyberbully.
Cyber Billy. Yo, I like it, man. Uncle Bully. Like, I don't know, man. All good. And then last but welcome, Billy, man. It's good to see you on the show finally. You know what I'm saying? Love the sweater, man. That's what's up. All good. Elf, big shout out to Will Ferrell. He couldn't be here today, but he sends his regards. You know what I'm saying?
He's with Keanu Reeves right
now. Him and Keanu Reeves both. They had to cancel last minute, unfortunately, but they're here in spirit. And then last but certainly not least, we got my homie Eddie I, a.k.a. down at the very, very bottom, a.k.a. Kid Kalahari, a.k.a. Eddie Got Salsa, a.k.a. Neo. You know what I'm saying? He's the Neo in this shit. That's what it is, man.
You feel me? What's up?
Yo, so he's part of our ape-in team on the creative side, getting busy with us. We got some really cool stuff coming with the zoo and beyond and everything else. We got a lot of dope shit. 2022 is going to be big for ape-in, for the zoo, for Congo, for all. We got a lot of stuff on tap. So, Eddie, welcome, man. Thank you for being here. You got the dope lighting, man. It's like, did you Christmas theme that shit on purpose?
Yeah, I did. I realized I was under Christmas here. I jumped in and I saw everybody had their. I was like, okay, let me put the lights on real quick.
Yo.
Now
I'm like, man, I just put up some Santa pillows. Now I'm feeling like shit. I got I'm like, now I got to step it up. I'll be right back. I come back and just change up the whole shit, throw up like a different background and everything. All right, so we got the squad. So that's everybody. We on some happy holidays, like, ape-in Productions, Media Options, Killer Year, ape-in. We made a statement. Big shout out to Timberland, Gary, Clem, Beat Club. You know what I mean? The whole team over there. We got some amazing things happening. And, I don't want to over disclose, just kind of stay tuned. We, we'll be definitely doing some really cool stuff. We had the talent contest that we just dropped. Big shout out to X, who won the talent contest. Got himself an ETH and another OG token. Big shout out to Blaze Camp. Big shout out to Fifi Wrong. Big shout out to Era Hardaway and Uncle Grow, as well as all the other folks who submitted, man. I mean, it was like, that shit was so cool. And like the amount of talent that came out of that. And, you know, and there were even you know, I mean, there were even certain submissions too that didn't even make the cut for the Twitch with Tim that were also dope. So it's like, man, I just want to amplify everybody because, man, a lot of talent and the community is buzzing and it's just all good. So if you haven't checked that out, get to our Discord, check that out because, you know, again, we've got a really great community vibe. It's just continues to build and grow. And as shit develops and as we keep doing what we're doing, it's only going to get bigger and better. And the vibe is on 100. And then also big shout out to the team who handle all the community management and a lot of that stuff because we've got a great team doing a lot of really great things. So so that's that. But let's talk some NFT stuff because there is something that happened today. So we're recording this on. Let's see, it's the 22nd. We'll air it. Billy, man, we get this out before the end of the week. What's up, man? We can drop this before Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. You heard it here. If it doesn't happen, he's on record.
Free Christmas assignment.
Yes. Let's do it.
You don't sound too confident.
Yeah, seriously. We'll do it Friday. We're gonna get it out Friday, right?
Before Friday.
Ooh, before Friday? That means Thursday. That's tomorrow, dude.
I know.
Oh, I don't know. All right. Well, anyway, so today was the flippening, yo. The flippening.
Oh my God, yeah, that's right.
We got to talk about it. We got to talk about the flippening. So for those of you who don't know, and by the way, for the domain maxis, just want to let you know, media options, we killed it this year. We appreciate all y'all. But today is not that show. Today is not to talk about domains. We are talking NFTs nuts all day on this show today, guys. But we do appreciate y'all. And we did just drop a really good DomainSherpa review with Braden, Andrew Miller, Drew, myself talking about 2021. What kind of year it was. We even disclosed some numbers, which we don't typically do. We got everybody to kind of show you under the behind the curtain, and it was a fantastic year for us, and we've got some really great shit going on the domain side too. But today is not that day. Today we are talking about NFTs. We are going to get it in, and the flippening is a big thing. So for those of y'all who don't know, you've got this competition, mostly friendly competition, because you've got a lot of folks that have both CryptoPunks and Bored Apes. And it's always been that CryptoPunks have a higher floor, right? That's the lowest price that one is available. That's the floor price, right? Not necessarily dictated by it's dictated by the market, but it's established by whoever is selling, really, So the floor of the CryptoPunks has always been higher than the floor of the Bored Apes until today. Today, for the first time ever, the floor of the Bored Apes is higher than the floor of the CryptoPunks. So now, some people are saying, like, look, this has been like an ongoing, when is it going to happen? The flippening, we're going to see it happen. A lot of the Bored Ape maxis versus the CryptoPunk maxis. Now, you've got folks who have both. Alan, for example, has both. He's got his CryptoPunk. He's got his Bored Apes. You know what I mean? How do you feel, man, as somebody who has both?
Yeah, it's different because I think there's a lot of chatter in the industry, which, it's just noise, right? Like, I mean, the fact is BAYC, they're out there, they're doing something, they're, I don't think this ape token is even priced in yet. So there's a lot of upside to that, right? But punks are good. But I think they're just right now, they're just, their biggest value is provenance. And that's not really something that, in a market that moves like 1,000 miles a minute, that doesn't stay as the rock of value. So we'll see what happens.
Well, yeah, and I think that's good point. I think one of the things that when you look at, because the floor of the punks was a lot higher. I mean, that's kind of what has happened here with the flipping. I think that you got people that are saying, look, it's cool and all to be excited about that happening, but it's happening because the floor of the punks has dropped a lot more so than the floor of the Bored Apes has gone up a lot in a short period of time, right? So I mean, obviously the floor of the Bored Ape Yacht Club, now being 50 plus, right, is a great thing for the Bored Apes in general, because all that's happened over the course of 6 to 8 months. But it's the CryptoPunks floor really dropped a lot in the last week or two, which has allowed this to happen. So people are saying, look, that's not great for the market, right? I mean, what would be great for everybody is if it was just that the Bored Ape floor had gone up so high that it surpassed the CryptoPunk floor, which didn't move, but the CryptoPunk floor dropping is actually a sign of almost like a weakness across the space. You know what I mean? The whole thing, which is, I think has people nervous. Morgan, you look like you want to say something.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was just going to say, I was, I am actually a Bored Ape maxi, so I'll throw that out there. But that being said, and I've been rooting for the flippening. I was hoping the flippening would happen in a different way though, because there's, many ways this can happen. I was hoping that, the CryptoPunk floor would continue just to go up, and maybe it would get to like 120, 130 ETH, and the Bored Ape floor would continue to go up. And I was hoping, because what's good for like all of us, no matter which side you're rooting for, or if you're rooting for both sides, it's better if both floors just go way up.
Yep.
This is the wrong way for the flipping to happen, in my opinion, because it's not a great omen for the market to go, oh, okay, the Bored Ape floor, first off, the Bored Ape floor was 60 ETH a few months ago. So the Bored Ape floor is still below what it hit. And now
it's not at an all-time high.
It's come way down. So I would have much rather had the flippening be Bored Apes are 130 and CryptoPunks are 125. That's kind of the flippening I was hoping for.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I agree with Morgan. The one question I have, because a lot of people are flipping on, are talking about the flipping on price. And I think there's a lot of artificial kind of pricing of the punks in a sense. Like, there's a lot of people dumping a lot, just to sell or whatever, that 4256 or whatever. So there's been some kind of greater like issues for that kind for the price. But does anybody know the amount of owners? That's the big thing, right? Like, I mean, the BAYC hit 6,000.
6,000.
Yeah. And I haven't followed the punks. If the number of wallets increased or decreased lately, or
it's the percentage is just much lower, and that's why this was bound to slowly happen over time, because like the amount of active wallets across the ape space are just much higher, and we just don't know how many punks have belonged to old wallets that aren't even in the space anymore. Things like that are like an important thing to like notice. So like, I mean, I think across time they're split on what their status is in the space, and like a lot of people who own punks and are ready to own them, they don't care. They own them because they're like a symbol that you were here way earlier than apes. So it's more about like, I don't know. And part of this is just like, I'm glad that it's done with, and like people can just kind of move on and just focus on the fact that, like everyone has their place in the system. And like, at the end of the day, I'll still go to the punks chat to read and like participate for different reasons than why I'll go to the apes chat. And that's like, and as long as that difference is there, I think they'll still both like thrive in the space.
That's the thing about the Oracle, man. You got such a positive spin on everything. You're like, I'm just glad it's done so we can all move past it. And then I'm going to like still vibe out on punks because I love punks and I love apes and shit. Like, I mean, and I'm with you. I feel you, but I don't know that it's done because I think, we might see a flippening back and then a reflippening and then like, you know what I'm saying? I think there's going to be a lot of that. Now, I don't know if it's done now where everyone's like, oh, it happened once. Now we'll just kind of see where it goes. But I think part of it is, a big part of it is also you've got Yuga Labs, right, with Bored Apes that are so active and have done so much. I mean, literally no one has done it better. I mean, everything from Ape Fest to the dogs to the mutants to, I mean, just the scavenger hunt or the puzzles and now the new roadmap and I mean, just all the shit. It's just crazy, and then, the Adidas collab and everything else. And then you got Larva Labs who've done pretty much nothing, you know what I mean? And then on top of that, and I don't mean that in like, I mean, literally they haven't done any of that kind of community stuff. So it's like, on the flip side, you've also got the IP rights, right? We talk about this all the time as to one of the reasons we even started ape-in productions and why we were all drawn to the apes in the first place was that they give you full IP rights to the apes so you can use them for all the stuff that we're using them for. Whereas, for the CryptoPunks, there's this like, I mean, if you look at the terms and conditions, there's like this $100,000 cap. Then there's, folks that are using their punks for stuff saying like, hey, they're not going to really enforce that. It's like, well, are they or aren't they? We don't know because Larva Labs is like, I mean, I'm not in the punks chat, so I don't really spend a lot of time there. Alan, are those guys active in the chat? Like what's like?
I'm not really sure. I don't really spend much time in the Discord, but I do know like in terms of the IP rights, like it's probably no longer just Larva Labs' decision, right? I mean, like they signed with United Talent Agency. So if UTA is actually doing like movies and all that stuff, I guarantee you their lawyers are going to probably like, kick back and other people may be infringing on that IP and stuff. Like there's more people involved, more money, things get more complicated. Right? So
So here's a question for Drew. So Drew, you were in the market for punks at various times, and it always
Yeah.
and it kind of got away from you here or there. Like, do you have any interest at this point in time in owning a punk? And if so, like at what price range?
So I literally was contemplating this pretty extensively yesterday. My price is 30 and
Damn.
I'm interested, but I'm it's interesting because I super appreciate punks for what they stand for, which is literally what I think Morgan said, which is like a symbol of like, yo, I was here early. And I just didn't buy a punk. But
I think it was Jess that said that.
It was Jess that said that.
Give
That
the
was a
Oracle
quote.
his
The
credit.
Oracle,
Give the
not
Oracle.
mine.
Yo.
yeah, and then I also I'm also like, I guess what makes me most excited about this space is the utility, is the commercialization, is this like sort of open source attitude and sort of ethos. And I think punks kind of fly in the face of that. And so, I'm a little on the fence, but I think if it got to 30, I'd probably just cop one just cause.
Yeah, I can't imagine it gets that low, but there's an interesting thing where I think Jess was making this point as well, which was, you've got a bunch of punks on wallets that haven't been touched in years.
Yep.
And was Jess, were you the one that made that point? Was that you?
Well, didn't 1,700 of them or something are on one wallet that's lost forever or something?
yeah,
There's a lot that are just gone forever, and that's like an important thing to notice. I mean, culture is the big thing for me. It's like anytime there's news in the NFT space nowadays, it's always a rapper or someone creative, like an entertainment copying an ape. So like it's about the participation there, and it's like now they're going all out with the gaming. Like and they seem like they're ready to capture the next like million users in like NFTs with like this game, because it's like it's not just going to be us that are going to be able to participate if like the thing like works out. So
and I think you're right. I think, and that goes back to this whole thing about Yuga being really on it and recognizing how to, and Larva Labs treating it like, well, we almost don't care. Like we're like, sort of this, OG painting type thing, like art collectible that, if you have it, it flexes that you've got one of the OGs, but that's kind of all it is. So Eddie, as a gamer, right? So I'm gonna call on you real quick. So, you're a young buck, kind of like Jess and Billy and stuff, and like, or I just want to say your generation. That makes me sound old as shit. But like, for you, like Bored Apes, you're obviously aware of Bored Apes. You're in on Bored Apes, CryptoPunks. Like any of that stuff have any relevance in your world at all?
I mean, so me being relatively new to this space, I used to like see these things on social media and not know what the hell was going on. I was like, wait a minute, like, but he brought up like the rappers and the entertainers buying into these things, and that raises the interest, like I saw Future with the CryptoPunk. I was like, oh, what is this, and then you look into it, you feel me? So sure. As far as like the relevance goes, it's just more and more people are hip to it, and that's going to cause the people who are fans of those people to check it out. I don't know. Yeah. I felt like I really became super curious because of a lot of the people that I followed, like, Lil Baby, Future, Timbaland. Yeah. A lot of people, they changed their profile pictures, and to a lot of people who are new to the space or didn't know anything about it in the first place, like me, I was like, oh, okay, I got to look into this because now everybody's doing this.
Yeah. No, and you're right. And I actually, Future has an ape. That's his PFP, and Jay-Z has the CryptoPunk. You know what I'm saying? But then Snoop was rocking the punk, but now Snoop just went out yesterday and did the quartet. You know what I'm saying? So he got his ape, his badass cheetah ape with the cigar. Did his M1 mutant, his M2 mutant, and the matching dog. You know what I'm saying? By the way, Cheetah Gang represent, right? That's what I'm saying. Cheetah Gang, we the gang. And but yeah, I mean, I think that's a good point. And this kind of ties back to the whole thing about, adoption being dialed into, sort of like, and the apes have just picked up so much momentum because so many more folks are, but there's also people that are pushing that agenda in a positive way, that are putting it out there and, helping onboard, like the MoonPay guys, for example, are helping all these rappers get their apes. they're not helping rappers get punks. You know what I mean? There's almost like no interest in that particular segment for this. But everybody's like, you know, everybody's fucking with apes. So, you know, I think the flippening is going to continue as it goes. I think punks will still have their value, but it's just interesting to see the way that it's kind of all kind of happening.
You want to know something funny? I listened into a Twitter space today, and it was like 300 people who are into like streetwear, like they do like Supreme hoodies and stuff. And they were interviewing one ape, and they were like, "So is it cool if we like rock a hoodie with the ape on it? Like, is that acceptable for us?" And he was like breaking it down for all of them, and they were like, okay, because like we really want to participate, like we really, and he was like, yeah, like as long as like he's like, some apes will be like, yo, why are you wearing that? And it might be cringe, but he's like, go out and wear it. And like that's like an important thing to notice, that like people who are into like collecting like Yeezys, things like that, like they want these hoodies. They're like, yo, these are exclusive. So I mean, that's gonna be like a thing moving forward too.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is the branding around the apes, the club. Like, you know, CryptoPunks seem very individual to me. Like, whereas the apes, it all came around the Bored Ape Yacht Club, right? This idea of inclusion, like we're all a bunch of bored apes. You know, everybody's just getting busy and vibing, and like, you know, and even then the introduction of some of the other stuff like the mutants. So let's talk mutants for a second, because I think this was, you know, a really kind of interesting aspect. Like, so Snoop apes in, and not only does he ape in with a dope ass ape, because his ape is dope, but then he brought the mutants and everything with him, right? So, and then if you look at, you know, the idea of when the mutants got brought into the ecosystem, they were brought in a lot of ways equal to apes, right? So before, we're talking about thinking that the ape coin's not even priced in to the value of apes at the moment, but it's definitely, if it's not priced in for the actual OG apes, then it's not priced in for mutants, if mutants are going to get the same amount of ape coin, right? So, I mean, what do we think, right? I mean, do we have any idea how that's supposed to work? Do we think it's going to be equal? Setting aside ideas that it might be based on how long you've owned the ape, owned the mutant, which wallet, and a lot of that kind of stuff. You think it's going to be a 1-to-1? Like, you think apes and mutants will get the same amount of ape coin?
My guess is if you have an ape and a dog, you get more, because that's what they hinted at in the thing. They're like, it's I think
full set. I was thinking about Snoop last night, and I was thinking like, all right, Snoop bought the full set, and like that's obviously some just flex type of shit. But he's also like the most inside dude ever in everything. Yeah. And so my guess is he knows like that if you got the set, that's how you get the maximum coin drop.
Huh. All right. So you think he's got the inside track on the coins? So
that's my read on
So
it.
his dog is not a serial number matching.
No,
dog.
I don't think you need the numbers matching. I don't think it matters what. I don't think you can mix and match. Don't fucking matter. But it's about having the ape, mutant, you know, M1 mutant, M2 mutant, dog. I think that having the full package is going to get you more than the average bear.
I got to get it myself.
Same, but with matching numbers. I think there's going to be something really valuable about having matching number. Like,
I don't think so. Not with a coin
and dog. But I do think that the OG apes and the mutants are going to get a different amount of. So if somebody has an OG ape versus a mutant, I don't think they're going to get the same amount of ape coins. Huh. I think the OG apes are going to get more, just because I feel like that's what.
I don't think so.
That's what I feel like in some ways Yuga's been kind of setting the stage for, maybe, of like, hey, these are all like mutants are part of the BAYC family, but they have been creating some bifurcation where there's there's some stuff that like is only available to OG apes. I think they're going to give them more ape tokens, but we're all just guessing. So
I feel like I remember them saying that having matching there not being a benefit to having the matching serial number dog to your ape. You know what I mean? And you know, I know for me personally, I've got the two dogs that match like aesthetically, but don't match. Actually, now that we have a third ape, I should probably get a third dog. But now I got to go mutant shopping. You know what I mean? Because that was actually something that I was looking at over the last like 24 to 48 hours, watching the floor go up and trying to figure out like which mutant I want to get. You know, M1 versus M2. And, you know, do I just get the serum and you know, get busy with apes that I've got? You know, we've got Safari, who's a virgin ape. Don't tell Safari that. He'll feel like we just disrespected him. Virgin
Why you
ass
say
ape.
that in public, JT?
Yeah, he's a virgin.
Sorry, he's gonna be so embarrassed.
Yo, I could tell you Lincoln isn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's got, what up? But yeah, so I think it's interesting. Like, then are we trying to chase down the matching serial numbers and stuff? So I don't know. I think it'll be really, really interesting to see how that goes. I think the idea that Snoop's got some sort of inside track on that, I think is also kind of an interesting thought. Because like you said, I mean, so what's his relationship with Cozumel de Medici? Like, what's that whole thing, right? It's him, it's not him. I mean, he doesn't tweet like it's him necessarily, but what anybody know what's good? Like, what are our thoughts there?
I feel like it might be his son.
Ah, all right.
Interesting.
Yeah, anybody else have a theory? Because, I mean, I think that could have been a whole conversation, and then you just shut it down with that because now everyone's like,
I don't think.
shit,
I
that's
think.
right.
I think it's
that's-
someone that works with him that's staying anonymous, but I think it's someone in his inner circle. I just don't
Okay.
think it's him himself.
Yeah,
Okay.
same here. I don't think it's him. I think it is very close to something. I mean, and you can tell in some of the tweets, like, they sent the jet to pick him up or something, and there is some insight into, like, it's not Snoop, but he works with Snoop kind of
Yeah,
thing. Like,
It's also like a Congo vibe. Like it's not him, but it's like, it's him. but
Yeah.
Yo, no doubt. Shout out to
Per-
Congo.
per-
Although
personally,
Congo's been
I-
on some shit lately, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. I mean, there's been some funky stuff with Congo lately, man. Like, he's like,
I hope everybody continues to think it's Snoop, though, because it's so great for the industry, right?
oh yeah. Well, look, I mean, Snoop is heavy. I mean, that's the thing. Like, he's been in crypto and NFTs, and kind of to Drew's point, he's like the most inside. Like, he's one of those dudes that could walk into any room, anywhere, in any scenario, and immediately just be there and like be totally like comfy and respected.
And also wouldn't surprise anybody else.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
exactly.
No, exactly. Yeah.
You
It's
know?
like, oh, Snoop president now? Yeah, that makes sense.
That's cool.
Sure.
No doubt. What's his platform all about? You know what I'm saying? Like,
He's in a new Corona commercial, by the way, if anyone's seen it. That's actually hilarious, but it's a really good example of that, where he's just like handing out Coronas to people on the beach and like, oh yeah, it's like Snoop handing me a Corona. Like, of course. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
if I was Snoop,
Why couldn't
like,
that
there's
happen?
nothing you could do to make me president. Like, you couldn't pay me anything. But, like, tell me something. Tell me that Snoop wouldn't win if he ran for president.
I'd vote for him.
I would vote for him in a heartbeat.
He's like, what's your platform, sir? Smoke weed every day. And I'd be like, all right, you got my vote. I'm in. Literally, I'm in. I'll vote for you.
I'll vote
Are there
twice.
any other names on the ballot? Because they don't matter.
Yeah, for sure.
It doesn't matter. Like, no, he has my vote right away.
So
I feel like he's a reasonable dude too,
is this
And
where
he's seen it
begins,
all.
by the way? Is this where like we
Shot a
like,
dude,
fast
you know
forward
what I'm
4
saying?
years ago, like there was that rabbit hole gang where they were talking about Snoop for president. Now Snoop's president.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The rabbit hole made it so. The oracle made it so. Yeah, no, hey man, look, I'd vote
Not
for
even
him too.
playing. I'd legit vote for Snoop to be president.
Oh yeah, I think that. I mean, especially when you look at some of the choices, the other options, it's like, I mean, I think Snoop would be a fantastic choice. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I vote
I
for him
mean,
twice. I mean, what the fuck?
I would
Like,
vote
I
for
don't even think that's
Biden to be the president of my freaking, retirement home.
All right, well, let's do this. Let's not get down to a political rabbit hole. We're going to keep this down in the NFT rabbit hole. All right, well, that's what's up. So we think of mutants. So mutants, are we saying they're undervalued? What about the difference with M1 and M2s? Because so here's the thing. I'm in the market for a mutant. I'm about to buy one. I'm like super.
I think no differentiation. I think M1 mutants. I've been looking at this hard the last 48 hours, and I'm basically of the mindset that M1 mutants are the best value play. But I also do think that people are sleeping on the dogs, because I think even though I don't like the dogs, I think the dogs are going to complete the puzzle and get you the extra raindrops. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you've always been kind of anti-dog. I've been a huge dog guy. You know what I'm saying?
You're only a huge dog guy because you got the Fallout Boy. You got that like
Neon Sanders, baby.
neon glow dog and
Sanders.
shit.
Yo, Neon
I
Sanders.
don't see the point of the dogs. I wish they would just pay us to burn the dogs. So.
Yeah.
Damn, son, that's like brutal, man. What the fuck, Alan? Come on, man. Yo, like
Holidays, Alan. Come on.
it's like burn the dogs and it's Christmas. Scrooge McDuck over there, man. Like shit.
No real dogs will be harmed. They're just
No real dogs were harmed in the filming of this, in the burning of this. Oh, what about the guy that burned his ape back in the day? That dickhead.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I hope he cries himself to sleep at night. Just because you know what? I felt like the apes. I felt pretty connected to my apes, and when he burned his ape, I felt like he literally like destroyed like a real character, a real like
he did.
thing.
He did.
Yeah, you know. So I was like, man, for attention, you know what I mean? Boo. Boo this man.
But dogs wouldn't have that effect. They don't have that emotion.
What?
You just
Drew?
found like 6,000 ETH. That's the look in his eye.
No, but I literally just found. I'm going through my old binder, and I found a seed phrase.
Nice. What is it?
Well, this is being
the audience at home will give you a
Let me hear that.
All right,
Happy holidays. We're going to give out a seed phrase of a random wallet, and there might be a shitload of ETH on it.
Yeah, listen to what Morgan said. Grab a piece of paper and pen at this
Yeah,
moment.
we'll give you guys like 30 seconds. Just take your time.
Yeah, exactly.
Get a working pen.
It's a scavenger hunt.
And how do you log out?
I think for the token, Mutant M1 and M2 won't matter, but like for someone that like the cosmetic thing, like when these are in games, like the 3D stuff, like all that matters, just because it seems like they're gonna go a little bit harder with the art on them, like when it's like elaborated into other universes, like
but here's the thing though, like when I look at certain M1s, aesthetically I like certain M1s better than M2s. You know what I'm saying? So you think like in the games, you think M2s are going to be bigger, have more firepower? Because like, okay, so
no,
this is.
I don't think they'll have more utility in a game. I think it's purely cosmetic. Like your guy will
I agree.
look cooler. But to a lot of people, like you got to understand that stuff matters. It's like just keep thinking back to Fortnite skins. Like people drop thousands and thousands of dollars to look like exactly the character they want. So just like that stuff is really important. Like especially since this is like transitioning over gaming and like. We're going to be sitting there like Waifu Baby was, like as our characters. So people are going to want to choose who, like the exact one they want.
Oh, yeah, it's like the Fortnite skins and everything.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, well, shout out to Waifu Baby. You know what I'm saying? Although she was talking that shit, being like, Congo said you got old ears, Tim. That was some fucked up shit, man.
Oh,
I'm like,
Drew. Hey,
Drew, what do you got going on, man?
Drew's just jackpot.
Drew's doing the I just found 100 ETH on a wallet and I can access it.
What was that seed phrase again?
I just found 12.8 ETH on a wallet.
Let's go.
Yo,
Cool.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, but
Very
ENS.
What was the
In
wallet?
addition
What was the seed
to
phrase?
a whole bunch of other shit coins.
But
Okay.
can you access it?
Well, you
No,
got
I'm
any?
in. I'm
you
in.
got-
Seed phrase, baby. Oh,
Man.
You got any Doge? You got any Shiba Inu?
That crash
Probably missed it
that
after.
crash didn't go well.
no, this shit was all before Shiba Inu and Doge existed.
Oh
Yeah,
shit! This was your
Back in the
ICO
day.
wallet.
Talking about the mutants, though, so I do think
Well, it's one of many.
I agree with Jess 100% on this. It's really about the aesthetic, right? And it's like that's where it gets a little bit complex, right? Because the M2s tend to be like more in your face mutant, right? And so for some people, they look at a lot of the M2s and they go, ugh, that's really gross. To others, they go, oh, that's really elaborate. And so the M1s, though, I think have a like broader appeal because I think they're a little bit more simple in their mutations. And so they can be a little cleaner. And I think overall people are biasing towards a more clean aesthetic versus a more like elaborate, heavily mutated aesthetic.
Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. I think that's a personal preference. You know, so Billy, you got an ape, but you know, you don't have a mutant, right?
Nope.
Are you trying to get a mutant? What are your thoughts on mutants?
Yeah, you know, that's an interesting conversation because Chill Walton's actually a virgin ape himself.
You got to do this. Look, he's right behind you there.
Yeah, you got to do this for
Blushing,
Chill, man. You got to
my
like, because he's got the tie dye, so that's pretty dope. You know what I'm saying?
I personally like the M1 mutants more than the M2s, but I'm more of a cleaner aesthetic kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Well, so here, as somebody who spent, because this happens to me when I've spent pockets of time over the last couple months, you know, where I get really heavy.
My lord.
Dude,
Okay, no, sorry.
I love
I'm
continue.
about to mute you, bro.
All right, wait.
You know what
What'd you
I'm saying?
find? What'd you find?
Yo, I'm taking people on a real life journey right now
What'd
across
you find? What'd you find? This is great. This is like a video
the
game.
deep.
I'm
I might have
excited.
just found all the ENS names.
No. Oh, that means you
Ah.
found the ENS coins, the access to the coins,
right.
son.
Oh my God.
We have also a domain community here, so let's share that seed phrase. Everyone, you got your pen.
Yes,
okay, ready?
whoever can figure this out the quickest,
Merry
and that
Christmas.
includes Drew. If you can beat Drew to the you know to the claiming of the
To the
ENS
promised
tokens.
land.
Yo, if that has all those ENS names, dude, you're gonna have mad ENS tokens, dude. That shit is
So,
going to be like,
I found
Well,
one
no,
wallet
it's
that
one
had
per
one
wallet.
in it, and
What?
that was
Wallet.
worth
No.
that was worth 12 grand, $11,800 something dollars. That was one ENS name.
Yeah, so
Because I literally these were registered day one that ENS came out. First day this shit came out.
Yeah, but the way the ENS drop works is that you can have 100 ENS domains in one wallet. It doesn't matter. It just takes your oldest, right? So
oh,
Oh, really?
So you're probably only going to get
Uh,
400 to 500 maybe ENS tokens
wah.
per wallet
wah,
for the
wah.
if you have names going back all that far,
You
right?
just
But-
ruined Christmas for Drew, Alan.
I know, man. You should let him just
yeah,
experience
I
that.
got lucky. I had
You were
like
so
I had,
happy a minute ago.
I had
You know
like
what?
ENS
Closure is
domains
better
like,
than not knowing anything.
That's true.
no doubt.
I'm with Eddie, Mr. Positivity over here.
No, hey, it's all good. Look, 500-600 ENS tokens is still real money, man. I mean, shit. That's
Still,
like,
yeah.
you know, you can finally pay me my Christmas bonus. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Like, that would be-
man.
Media Options is the industry's leading domain broker specializing in domain acquisitions, high-value domain sales, and domain name consultation. As pioneers and thought leaders on the subject of the domain aftermarket and domain name value, plus through their clear domain acquisition service, Media Options offers startups and established corporations an unparalleled scope of high-value domain options, providing access to domain names and curation technologies not available elsewhere. Media Options believes in the power of a great domain name and is dedicated to helping you obtain yours. Call or email today to put a domain to work for you.
By the way, JT, I looked into the megas. So the megas already exist, but you don't own it. Like they exist in a random wallet, but you don't own it until you feed the M3 serum to an ape that already exists. So you had to have been dropped that thing. So there's some of them like, I'll drop the link, but there's some of them like the Iron Man one that just haven't been claimed.
Oh,
So, like,
okay.
until someone feeds that to their ape won't transform into that. But we know what they're all gonna look like right here.
Yeah. All right, yo. I mean, the M3s, the megas are fucking crazy. Those are like, those are wild.
Wait, you're
wild.
telling wait. Okay, hold on, Jeff. Say that again.
So like the mega mutants already exist, but you have to feed the M3 serum, like the one that's in a barrel,
The barrel,
Yeah.
yeah.
to your ape, and it's gonna turn into one of these that haven't been claimed yet. So it's like you won't know which one of these you're gonna get,
Oh, really?
but you'll see them right here. They have names and like no traits.
oh, you're gonna get one of these?
Yeah, exactly. When you feed an M3 serum to your ape.
Oh my gosh.
No matter which ape you have, it won't matter what traits there are. It's not, the mutation works differently. You literally just get transferred one of these. Like
Right,
that's
but the M3 is what, 1,300 right now?
yeah. I mean the demon one got signed to like a deal with UTA. Like just
No, but the actual serum is like 1,300 ETH or something.
yeah, it's crazy. It's like 500 or something, right?
500, yeah.
Whoever got dropped that was like a big lucky day for them.
Well, yeah, the megas are super, super dope. I think the, and rightfully so. And they're obviously like, I mean, they're so, $1 million.
1,000 floor, 999 ETH floor.
That's crazy. So, and that's kind of what I'm saying. So it's like, they're multi-million-dollar, assets. But I mean, some of the M2s are cool, but I like the M1s as well. I guess that's kind of where I'm at. I'm on the aesthetic piece, I guess, before I pull the trigger, because, there's a couple of M1s that are in that 10 to 12 ETH range. That's where a lot of these M2s live. So it's like, which one and what? For me with the mutants, I also don't like the melting faces a ton. You know what I mean? Because I also think about, with what we're doing with ape-in, for example, right? And we want, we'll utilize mutants as artists, as rappers and singers and band members and everything else, and musicians, and and inside the the universe that we're creating. And I just think, how do they look talking and moving and shit if their face is melting off their face? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but I also think that when you talk about the elaborateness of the art, so this was what I was going to say before, is that I've been in these pockets of time where I've really like been going over page and page of Rarity Tools and OpenSea and all this kind of stuff with the mutants, and you get way down that rabbit hole, like, and you really see how crazy some of this animation and what they did. Some of it grosses me out. I'm like, yo, I wouldn't even take that mutant if you paid me, aside from putting it in a wallet and waiting for my ape coin. But like, but there are other ones that are just like, but I can appreciate the detail that went into the art on so many of them. And some of them I think are just so fucking awesome that it's like, there's a couple like the striped shirt where like the fucking things are like, the hands are coming out, or you know what I mean? And like, there's just different shit. The eye patch, there's the rat that's coming out the eye socket. And, there's just some crazy shit. And, again, not all of them are my jam, because I'm not like a gross out, like horrorcore kind of like dude. That's just not exactly my shit. Toxic Avenger or whatever. But I can absolutely appreciate like, just how fucking badass some of the art and the detail is. So, it'll just be interesting to see how it plays out. I'm definitely copying a mutant here in the next day or two. I'm just trying to figure out. But I think I'm probably leaning M1 based on aesthetics. But if you're telling me in the game, so what's happening with the game, Jess? Because this is your shit. Like it got put on hold because they got rugged by Apple, right? Is that is there any?
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
It didn't come out that day. Like stuff wasn't working on the iOS side, so it's still on hold with that.
So any word like in the Discord or anything? We're getting any kind of indication on what's good?
Yeah, they just said there'll be an update on that, but let's see.
Yeah, and then what's the deal? There you have, and how's that going to work? There's going to be a week of like a time frame, and then whoever has the highest scores gets the prizes. Is that how it's going to go?
Yeah, so it's basically 2 games actually. You can download one for Bored Ape side and one for the mutant side, and it's going to be 2 separate leaderboards moving like simultaneously for 7 days. And then at the end of the 7 days, if you're on the top 50 of the mutant leaderboard or the Bored Ape leaderboard, like you'll get the prizes that correspond to like the infographic that they put out. Yeah, Morgan actually had a good point about stuff that's like difficulties when launching like stuff on Apple and like iOS with apps.
Yeah, it's not like that. Like, I think there's been some like over exaggeration of like, oh man, Apple's trying to screw. It's like, nah, like when I was at Sonos and we were releasing our app to the App Store, we ran into a bunch of stuff. And it really just comes down to, because we released on the Apple App Store and the Android marketplace. And if for anybody out there with an Android phone and it's also using an iPhone, you'll probably notice like there's just less quality control on Android. Apple's like just incredibly famous for quality control. And so for them, a lot of times like apps that like developers get confused because they're like weird, like this is like got approved no problem in the Android store. And now Apple, like it looks exactly the same, but like they're really careful about that. But it's why like with your iPhone, when you look at your apps, like they're just a little bit more polished than the stuff on the Android store. Not to hate on Android, big fan of Android and Google and all that stuff. But I think that's it more than there's some people that are trying to create this narrative of like, oh, Apple's trying to screw over NFTs. And it's like, that's definitely not the case. Apple's probably just following their normal protocol and making sure that it's released and meets all the standards.
I don't know, man. I mean, I hear you, but I also see a lot of garbage games on Apple. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's plenty of shitty apps and shitty games that seem to be filling up the App Store. You know what I mean?
Pulling like blockchain data too. Like, it's going to be simultaneous with like what's in your wallet and like all that. So it's probably going to be the first game that does that. Like on such like a like.
Oh, that's interesting. If there's a privacy connection type of situation too, yeah. But this game, the mobile game, is different from the blockchain game they're doing with Animoca, right?
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So, because that's a whole nother thing and this is also again why the fucking Yuga Labs and the Bored Ape Yacht Club is the sickest, because it's like, we're like, oh wait, that game that you're talking about, that mobile game with that they're literally giving away a car and a fucking pinball machine and bongs and shit. It's like, oh, that's different than this fucking this game changing blockchain game that they're developing with Animoca that is going to be on a whole nother level. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like that's going to have play to earn dynamics and things like that. So it's like. And the fact is that that's just a part of their roadmap, I mean, and that's why it's like, how can you not, feel confident going all in This is why mutants are undervalued, right? Because mutants get you access to all this stuff. They get you access to the games. They got you access to all the Ape Fest stuff, right? On a one-to-one basis. They got you access to the Adidas drop. And in fact, when the Adidas collab drop that just happened, which also involved Pixel Vault, Punks Comic, G Money, you know, and Bored Ape Yacht Club, when the mutants weren't able to mint in that early mint period, they shut the whole thing. They put the whole thing on ice until they could bring the mutants in. You know what I mean? And that's just like, even just like from a sort of like conceptually is just so dope that it's like, nah, wait. Y'all aren't leaving my motherfucking mutants outside. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, everybody stop, hold up. You know what I mean? And it's like, we're gonna do this right, you know? And so yeah, I mean, I think it's just, if the art was just it's funny. It's like they really did it though, where it's like the art makes you, if the art was not doper, I'm sorry. If it was more like aesthetically pleasing or something, it wasn't so mutant, right? People probably would buy them up even more. There'd probably be even less of a delta between the mutants and the apes. You know what I mean? Like,
that was by design, though. I'm very convinced.
Oh yeah, everything. You know, look. I mean, that's what I think is so crazy about Yuga Labs and all these guys is like they were the first to do a lot of this shit, and the way they did it was so smart. And every move that they've made. Now we've talked about this on the show. The mutants were dilutive potentially, right? Because we saw this enormous run up. Some of it being that people didn't know exactly what was going to happen, and there was so much hype. And that was when Steph Curry aped in. Like that was just a crazy couple of days, right? And the fucking floor went nuts. Half of Drew's apes got bought, you know what I'm saying, while he was on the boat and couldn't access his shit to pull him off the market. And like the floor literally became lava and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And I mean, it was just, the momentum was nuts. And then it happened, then the floor came down, and because, all of a sudden you put, how many mutants are there total at the moment? Like, is it 20,000?
It's getting there. I mean,
16,400 and whatever. I think there's still, based on however many serums are left, basically, right?
Yeah,
20,000.
17,000 right now at the moment.
Yeah, because it's 20,000 total possible, minus however many serums have not been utilized, right?
Yep.
And then you start to see an interesting kind of delta between the price of the serums in the market and the floor prices of the M1s and the M2s. You know what I mean? And again,
I'm holding serum for that reason, because I believe, and I just put out a poll on Twitter saying, like, should I mutate? Because I have an M1 and an M2 that I've just held on to. And I put out a little thing on Twitter asking, like, should I mutate and bet on the value of the 2 mutants that I get and the ape tokens that I get as a result of that? Or should I hold the M1 and M2 and bet on scarcity driving the values of that above those?
And what was the result of the poll?
All over the place. Some people said
inconclusive.
Some people said, mutate, get those mutants. The mutants plus the coin is going to be more valuable. And then some people said, no, scarcity wins the game. And if you hold on to them long enough, those will become incredibly valuable. I'm leaning towards holding on. I'm curious what people here think.
Yeah. So Drew, what do you think? You're a tokenomics game theory guy. You have a lot of what do you let's say you use your serum yesterday.
So yesterday
we mutated. Wait, for the audience's benefit.
I was ready to be the last man standing on the M2s. Like,
that's kind of how I'm feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, the game theory on that basically should play out that eventually, basically as this thing expands, eventually you get to the the final boss, who's let's say the Peter Thiel or the Elon's like, all right, I want an ape. All right. Now he goes out, he buys the dopest ape available in the market. And now he wants his M2 mutant. And so that final M2 thing is basically priceless, right? And so, but the thing that throws that whole thing off is, and like they're going to do a snapshot at some point. And then it's like, we're going to do an airdrop based on this snapshot. Now, I'm fairly confident they're not airdropping to just serum holders, only to people who mutated the serum with an ape. And so now it's like, all right, well, how much is that airdrop worth versus the potential upside of an M2 serum? And my guess is that airdrop is going to be worth more on a time adjusted framework. So
My thing with the airdrops that I think it's still really yet to be seen is like, I've been in Bored Ape since Mint Week, and I've been airdropped like a hoodie, a Decentraland hoodie, which I think has pretty much no value.
No,
And,
whoa. There's been some chatter about that. Well, keep going, but I'll come back to that.
But and a basketball, and I have the physical basketball too, like you got up there. Yeah.
Damn, what's up?
So I think it's really betting more on the token than I am not, and I who knows? We're all just guessing here, but I'm not expecting that BAYC is going to airdrop stuff that ends up being super valuable. I think it's going to be the, obviously the core mutants themselves, and then the ape token and the value of that token.
Right. Well, I think that's what we're saying. Like, at the end of the day, you're going to get tokens if you have an ape or a mutant, maybe dog, like whatever, however that's going to work. Serum by itself is not going to get you any ape tokens.
Correct.
Is kind of the
that's what I'm saying. There's no other airdrop.
I don't think so.
I don't think there's stuff that's going to be airdropped in addition to that's going to carry any value.
Oh, so I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think that,
really have to focus on the value of like, okay, do I think that the mutants plus those tokens are going to be, outweigh the value of, the price drive up from the scarcity of the serums, particularly the MPs.
Yeah. And that is the calculus. So yesterday on our call, Drew mutated like 3 or 4 mutants, which was
that was great.
Giving out seed phrases too. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So he was given the okay by the ape and serum holder to do that, and so we ran through it and got to see that in action. That was pretty cool. And so that was a lot of fun watching that whole thing. And I guess I think if you've got a few serums, maybe hold on to 1 or 2. You don't turn them all into mutants, kind of thing. And then in the meantime, what I think is also an interesting point about the serums is pre-mutation what the mutant's going to look like, right? This isn't a blind bag type of approach where, because now by all of the traits and stuff, if you're going to mutate.
Too. So like, okay, if I mutate this with an M1, here's the floor on my rarest trait. What it'll be worth the second you mutate it.
Yeah, for sure.
I just want to add one thing. Like if this ends up becoming like one of the biggest play to earn games ever, to a lot of people who want to just participate in that, the cosmetic won't matter. And there's only 30,000 keys to play in the possibly the most revolutionary blockchain game ever. And a lot of people will not care about what it looks like, what that key looks like, even though we do. But that's an important thing. And you'll be able to make content with 29,000 other people online for that, for millions of people that will consume what you're doing, whether that's streaming gaming for Eddie or whatever it is, or music we're doing. You're reaching a really core target audience that only 30,000 people have access to. So it's pretty insane.
It's almost think about it if there's some way that, imagine it's like Pokemon Go, right? But you own the fucking particular Pokemon, and every time it's caught, you get something. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that, where it's some Axie Infinity kind of vibe, where kind of to Jess's point though, you're capped and limited. That's why when I look at the mutants, I'm torn, right? I'm did I just buy the floor mutant because I don't really care? I just want to have a mutant ticket. M1, M2 doesn't matter. Then I literally should just buy the cheapest mutant I can get. I don't care what it looks like. I'm not going to make it my PFP. I'm not going to look at it. I don't care. But at the same time, part of me is nah, I'm going to pay double because I want that shit to be I want it to I don't want to look at it in my wallet and not like it. You know what I mean? And go ahead, Al.
Oh, sorry. But Jess just brought up a good point too. It's going to be 30,000 keys to play the game essentially, right? But if you want to connect, that's the whole other issue too, right? I don't want to connect my wallet anywhere with the ape in it to actually play the game. I want some bridge created where it's another token or something like that, where you get it as the ape owner, but then you can move it to a hot wallet or something and connect, right?
Well,
I actually never thought about that before, Jess. But you're right. If you're just looking for the key, what the traits matter,
Yeah, well, and hey, huge shout out to the Sneaky Vampires. They came up with a pretty cool way that when you stake your vamp, you actually get a token to utilize in your wallet, so that and I think using that same kind of thing, because here's the thing, guys, for everybody out there in the world fucking with NFTs, you've got to be careful. You literally have to assume anytime you're interacting with anybody online that they're trying to steal your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's literally that crazy. And, you know, there are
Even
so many
anytime you're hitting a
scams.
mint button, like that mint button is trying to steal your shit too.
Yes, every time you're using your wallet to interact with anything, the person behind it is a fucking scammer that is trying to steal that's trying to take all your NFTs and all your fucking crypto. So, you know, and I agree. I actually just got, literally my ledgers just arrived today. I got another couple of ledgers that I had delivered because I'm moving my apes over to that wallet to take it out of because I've got hot wallets. I've got my cold wallet. I have a couple cold wallets, but I have one that has a lot of my stuff, including my apes and a bunch of other shit. But it's like every time there is a drop or some other thing, you know, we even did it for ours where it's like, you know, for ape-in, where if you wanted to get takeoff track 2, or if you haven't checked it out yet, check it out because it's dope as shit. But you can't get it unless you have the OG token, but you need the OG token in your wallet to claim it. And obviously we know that our site's legit, and make sure you use our site. You know, don't go into some stupid link. Like, you know, you literally have to triple check almost every interaction that you do. But, you know, there are plenty of things that I want to claim. And, you know, I did it with Punk's comic. You know, I got my planets, you know what I mean? I did it with biopills recently. I got my bioland. But it's like, I'm nervous when I'm doing it, you know, but I don't want to have a wallet for every single collection, but you almost need to do that, or at least come up with a way to better protect the stuff that is the most valuable stuff that you have, because obviously apes being as valuable as they are, you know, that's like the pinnacle. And it's like, so I'm about to just put the apes themselves in a separate wallet so that when I have to interact with the other stuff, which is still also valuable in its own right, that I'm not, I mean, even OpenSea, you know, like, I mean, shit, that is broken sea.
They mess up so often. It's like,
it's such a train wreck. Like, you connect your wallet to OpenSea just to list something for sale. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't get hacked at some point, and then all of a sudden just listing something for sale on OpenSea or canceling a open listing doesn't lead to, you know, your shit disappearing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
well, it's not just like someone stealing it. I mean, there was literally a tech issue with OpenSea 6 months ago or something. It only like, I think it only affected like maybe 35 transactions or something. But if you put in, like, when you go to transfer an asset to someone, if you put in the actual ENS domain,
I remember this.
it burned. It sent it to the burn address.
Yeah.
And it was only good for 20 minutes or something, but or some time, but like nobody lost a Fidenza or Punk or something, but whatever. But you know, money is relative, right? I mean, like, if you lost a $200 NFT, that can really be impactful to some people as well.
Well, not only that, but just because it's worth only $200 in the market, like, what if it has a lot of sentimental value to you? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, something that doesn't have a value or a price, and it's like, replace that shit, you know? So, and that's where, you know, it'll be interesting to see, and we've only got a couple minutes and then we've got to jump, but you know, it'll be interesting to see how things play out. There's obviously so much happening in the space around platforms and new players that are entering. I mean, you know, Coinbase's platform will come online, and, you know, OpenSea is probably the most surprising for me, where it's like such an important platform, but yet they just don't seem to be. They still haven't verified our collection. They still haven't combined our collection. It's like, you know, they've been funded. You know what I mean? They've got all this money, but you know, it's like the joke is like, you know, it's like somebody posted some shit about some dude sitting in front of all these broken computers, and they're like, this is the OpenSea offices right now. I'm like, no, that's not it. That's false, because that actually shows somebody there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, fuck that. Like,
bring Nate back. Get
your shit together. Yeah, Nate Chastain, man. Where's Nate at? You know what I mean? I'd rather have him front running a ton of shit, because he would actually get shit done. Like, front run all you want.
That's how I used to feel about when I lived in Panama and we had this like super corrupt president. This dude was hardcore. He stole like 5 billion. And but the thing is, you know, he greased the wheels of commerce and things got done. We got airports, we got highways, we got hospitals, we had business deals, we had the canal expansion. Like, you know, yeah, he took 5 billion, but he, you know, probably added 50 billion to the economy. And it was like, all right, look, I'm a realist. Like, I'm not even an optimist. I'm a realist. And it's like, all right, sure. Would it be nice to have one that doesn't steal $5 billion? Absolutely. But you know what happened? We got one of those next. And you know what happened to the country? The thing went down the toilet. Everything ground to a halt. No more highways, no more hospitals. Everything that was like in the process ground to a halt. Nothing happened. Nobody like it was
It's not
like,
necessarily connected though, right? Like you could have someone that like does a great job and like
The
builds.
theme
roads,
of today's
hospitals,
show is acceptable
doesn't steal-
corruption.
and doesn't steal $5 billion.
Yeah.
well,
that guy,
you
that guy
know,
on the sidewalk
Morgan, it's an
behind me
interesting
doesn't agree.
Is it possible
Oh,
to
no.
have, you know,
Oh, shit.
Well, I don't think there's a politician that, you know, I'm sure there's a few. I'm not going to make absolutes, but I don't think there are very many politicians that actually get in this just for the difference, right? It's the power, the money,
The altruism.
access. Yeah, exactly, right. I mean, like it's for the job when you exit. Like, just be transparent. Take the bribes and let us know. I don't care. As long as there's a good ratio of what you're doing.
Hey, man.
yeah, that guy, I mean, the one
You
that
guys are
stole the
basically
5 billion,
describing
you know,
Donald
like,
Trump. All right, hey, so look.
yeah, he was at parties with his girlfriend. He was on public television at the soccer game, national soccer game, not with his wife, but with his girlfriend. You know, he was out on the balcony at like parties, drinking vodka straight out the Grey Goose bottle. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't even shy about it, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I'll take that over the incompetent, not going to do anything, dude, every single time.
Hey, look, well, the incompetent piece I think is key. And that's the thing that I find most frustrating about politics. Like, just regardless of who and what, you know, I'm not turning this into a political conversation, but no matter who's in charge, it's like, you know, we dump all this money. I mean, and I'm super sensitive to it at the moment as I'm running through my 2021 taxes and everything. And, you know, they take all this money and then they are literally the worst at managing it, handling it, and getting anything done. So it's like, you know, that is very, very frustrating. But you know what?
There's a great tweet by Elon, I think yesterday, is like, you know, my tax bill is it's going to be 11 billion this year, and then a few people, you know, just replied like, thanks, it's gone now.
Yeah,
It is. It's well, look, yeah. Well, then there's the whole thing about
and it's
Elon.
gone.
Then there's the whole thing about Elon and Jack Dorsey now shitting on Web3, and that's a whole. We could talk about that. That's a whole nother topic.
Well, Beanie baited Jack and Elon, and Jack responded to.
Yes,
he
Jack
did,
responded to
yeah,
Beanie.
Jack responded to Beanie.
Yeah, with GN Capital. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to
Yeah.
GM Capital, like Good Night Capital, as opposed to Good Morning.
Yeah.
But anyway, man, look, the space is crazy. 2021 was wild. What a year. We feel really, really good about everything that we accomplished. We have so much more work to do on a lot of different levels, but we're really excited to do it. I think it's going to be it's going to be a wild ride. There's going to be turbulent times. You know, it's going to be the best of times, the worst of times, all that good shit. But I think it's going to be wild, and we're looking forward to getting it in. So we don't really have time. Otherwise, I do like an around the horn. What's everybody excited about? So I'm just going to speak on everybody's behalf, and we're all excited about everything. You know, because we do have to jump, but I appreciate all y'all being here. And like I say it on every show, I appreciate the audience. Without you, there's no us. So on behalf of the Rabbit Hole Gang, on behalf of ape-in Productions, Media Options, all the individual folks, everybody that's been part of our team, because, you know, I said this on stage at the Real Vision Conference. It's like, you know, it takes a village, and we've got an amazing village of folks. A lot of those who are here on this show right now, but a lot of other folks that are very much, you know, involved in doing some really, really great things with us. And and we're locked and loaded and ready to rock for 2022. So we're going to get it in. We appreciate all y'all. Let's keep it moving. Holler at us. We're not hard to find. If you want to get at us, let us know what's good. Otherwise, we'll catch y'all next time here on DomainSherpa, where all roads lead to domains. And next time on Down the Rabbit Hole with the Rabbit Hole Gang, just diving in and doing what we do. So we'll see y'all next time. Peace out, everybody. Happy holidays. We'll see you next year.